welcome everyone. My name's Jase, I'm from Enliven Nutrition and we're up to our second episode with Cook with Jase. So today we're going to delve into meal prep part 2 and we've already done a great salad base. It's something that you're going to be able to take with you, mold, modify the way that you like it, but what we've had there is a real non-starchy veg component. Now let's add some quality carbohydrate to that. So roast veg is absolutely fantastic and I'm going to show you a great hack today about how you can prepare roast veg in bulk. It's going to be super tasty, but where most times where you're doing roast veg, you're adding a lot of added fats with oils, which is going to really skyrocket that calorie content up there. There's a way to do it without, okay? And it's all in the prep and it's all in the balance. So the biggest thing, and it's one of the things that you don't see in many cooking shows, straight away, if you're thinking about doing this, go and preheat your oven. There's nothing worse than getting to all of your prep and you haven't preheated your oven, okay? You're gonna waste time. So 220 degrees for a fan force is what you want it at. We wanna go hard and fast with this, all right? Because the natural sugars in these guys are going to caramelize and the flavor is gonna be amplified, and that's exactly what we want. So what do we have here today? We've got some standard sweet potato. We've got a Jap pumpkin here. Now you can use a butternut pumpkin, but the reason I've got this one here, these tend to have a higher water content, okay? And that's gonna stop things drying out, especially when we've got it all in the one pan. And because we're using this, we can actually add some other veggies in there that are really, really cheap to help bulk it out. So something like carrots and some basic brown onions, okay? These here are, again, much more of a cost-effective manner than using the whole pumpkin. So really, we're only going to need about half of this. And this is something that when you prep it, it's going to last you for a whole week, basically, in the fridge once you've got it. So one cook, super tasty, super quick, and get it in the oven, guys. So spice mix today, what are we looking at? We've got some ground cumin, ground coriander. We've got some smoked paprika here as well. We're going to do some cracked black pepper and also a little bit of a pinch of sea salt on top. And that's it, guys. It really is that simple. So let's get cracking. So grab your baking dish. Now, great hack for cleaning up, all right? Again, I mentioned in the last one, I don't know who does Jamie Oliver's cleaning up for his 15-minute shows because there's just an absolute mess everywhere. You don't want to have to do that. So, baking paper, and please guys, don't skimp on buying a poor quality baking paper because it's just not going to do the job. You may as well buy in bulk, get a great brand, so shout out to Glad for that there, but really there is such a difference in the quality. So instead of putting one layer down, I want you to put 2 because this has got a high water content, it's going to leach natural sugars, and you're going to have a hell of a mess in the pan if we don't do it. So let's save on that cleaning up time, yeah? Okay. So make sure you line it well. And this is another way that you're actually going to cook, save cleaning time, and you don't have to add oil to stop things cooking, all right? So we're saving calorie content. So first and foremost, let's do the big one. Let's go the pumpkin. Now, knife skills, a little bit different with something this big. We want a nice, solid, firm surface, okay? We don't want it rolling around too much. And I want you to do what's called the harbour bridge with your hand, okay? So put your knife down near the centre, harbour bridge on top, and just gradually wiggle. Lead with the tip of the knife blade, keep wiggling. It's always good to have a nice sharp knife when doing this. Rotate it around, harbour bridge again. And how easy is that, guys? So again, we've got a nice bowl here. We want to grab a spoon and just scoop out those seeds. So I'm thinking again compost, but if you haven't watched the last one, there was a little bit of a story there about a previous pumpkin patch that I grew out knowing, chucking some compost and some pumpkin seeds in the backyard, and I was delivering pumpkin for weeks. So good story, worth watching the other episode for, guys. So half the pumpkin. Remember what I said about flat surfaces? This is not great to chop on, okay? That's how you lose a finger. Flip it over, nice, solid surface, okay? So, again, harbour bridge and down. Chop, harbour bridge. And what we want to chop is a nice inch worth, cutting wise there. So keep pressing down. And again, now these here again, very unstable to chop, so let's get it down. And what I want here is around about 3 centimetre cubes, so decent sized pieces, okay? Because remember, this type of pumpkin has a higher water content. So straight in the tray, guys. You'll notice that I'm leaving the skin on this. A lot of people remove the skin. It's a great way to grab extra fibre, and roasted pumpkin skin is absolutely fantastic. Often when this is cooked, I'm generally the person that's actually just scooping off the skin itself and eating it. I get in trouble from the wife though, because it's the best part. So, nice, fairly even chunks. Again, use that harbour bridge method where you've got your hand over the blade so there's no chance you're actually going to cut your fingers. Nice and easy. Right, sweet potato. Easier if you've got something in a nice long thin line like this. If you've got the curved ones, it's a bit harder to chop. So, how do we do this safely? Very large, let's just do the harbour bridge one again. Press down, safety in your fingers. Same thing, halfway, wiggle, press down. Now, I want to do this nice and thin, nice and fine. When you're cooking something like a sweet potato or even a pumpkin, if you can cut it fairly fine, what you're going to get is much more surface area to be exposed to the heat, more caramelisation, and that's going to give you more flavour. So let's just cut this fairly fine. And straight in the pan, guys. It really is about maximising your time so we're not cooking every night of the week. So usually when I do this at home with my wife, we've got both baking dishes going. We'll just do one today. So, onions. How do we prep an onion without crying? If you find the answer to that question, let me know. Cut it in half. Easiest way, and then just peel the skin off. So there's a good chance that you're going to see some tears with this one, guys. So the beauty of this is you can actually get some speed with actually prepping this. You don't have to really worry about cutting it too fine. In fact, what I want, because the onion is basically a vegetable with many layers, if you can leave that fairly whole, just in big chunks, it'll naturally break down in the cooking process itself. Now, the other thing you're going to find with onions, they've got a high water content. They've got a high carbohydrate content, which is a natural sugar content within them. So whenever you're actually baking with an onion or you chuck it into your baking dish, it just makes things so much sweeter. That heat is going to draw out that sweetness for you. And it really does just coat the rest of the vegetables. So whenever you're doing any sort of roast veggies, please use some sort of an onion. You can bulk out your meal. It's very cheap. And I'll tell you what, you'll absolutely never go back after doing that. So again, just nice big chunks. I only need 2 for that. And standard carrots, guys, again. So carrots are something with less of a water content. So what you're going to want to do, because of that, they're going to take a bit longer to cook. So let's cut it in just centimetre pieces. So we've got the sweet potato, we've got the pumpkin as a salad topper. It is absolutely fantastic to be able to use something like the onion as well and baked carrot and throw that through a salad. So you're bulking out the salad with cost-effective ingredients. After you've roasted it, again, the flavour is amplified. So now time for the spices. I've got around about 1.5 tablespoons of smoked paprika. So scatter that across, be generous with it. A little bit ground coriander, about the same amount of cumin, so about 1.5 tablespoons, again being generous. We've got some pink Himalayan sea salt again, and a good crack of black pepper. Right, now this is a really important part, guys, coming up. Take the time to massage this on the vegetables, all right? Don't just throw it in the oven now. Make sure you've got a nice, even coating on all the vegetables. And it really is worth the extra minute or 2 to get your hands in there and get an even coating, all right? So that caramelisation on that vegetable is going to interact with these herbs and spices. And the more time that you can do this, the better end product you're going to get. And what you'll see, again, it's not something where we have to add oil. So most baked veggie dishes, you're probably going to have 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil. Right there, you've added around about 250 calories. Now, that might not mean much to you, but that is equivalent to 4 slices of bread worth of calories just in a bit of oil content, all right? And yeah, you're not going to eat the whole baking dish, but any saving you can make in terms of calorie content is fantastic. So, flatten them down, and these ones are ready to go into the oven. Okay. So we'll whack this into the oven, and what we're going to do while this is cooking, I'm going to show you 5 simple, fast dressings. And depending on your goals, whether you're looking at weight loss or you're looking for added flavour and maximising that, I've got something for everyone. Okay guys, we've got our meal prep veggies in the oven, and while we're going to do that, let's talk about some great dressings. So we've got a good salad base, we've got some fantastic carbohydrate content in terms of those veggies to go on top of them, and really dressing is where most people fall apart because the calorie content of a dressing, the old saying of it's all in the sauce, is very, very true in this point. So I want to give you some variations, some things you may not have thought about before, and some ways to make some of these a lot healthier. So first and foremost, I just want to show you a pre-packaged product that's on the market. Chobani have brought back their range of dips, they've modified them, they've taken out the vegetable oil content. Now I've got a couple of different flavours into a herb tzatziki and also a beetroot and dill. Guys, these are absolutely packed full of flavour. They're about 130 calories each. Pack about 10 grams of protein. You could literally have the whole tub of these for a snack if you wanted to, with some celery or carrot, and if you stir this through a salad, I'll tell you what, it'll amplify the flavour. You get a creamy dressing and none of the guilt, and you enhance that protein content, which is something going to keep you fuller for longer. So they're one great option, really easy, done for you. But if you want to go to a little bit more trouble, let's see how we can modify something like a Caesar dressing. So it's as simple as looking at something like a plain Chobani fat-free Greek yogurt. The thickness and texture of that is going to give you that creaminess, but it's such a mild yogurt that it is really a blank canvas that will work fantastically well with dressings. So how do you make a Caesar dressing from this? So I've got about 3/4 cup of the yogurt. We've got a tablespoon and a half of Dijon mustard. So let's whack that in there. Clove of garlic. And it's around about 1.5 cloves really, because they're a little bit young, but chuck that in a really good quality garlic crusher because you really want to mince this up. It's one of those things as well with the garlic crusher that if you don't buy a good quality one, you can't chuck it in with the skin on and all. And literally, you'll get a bit of a workout, but that's how much garlic you get out of that, guys. So there's a good amount, all the work is done, and all the mess is in the garlic crusher itself. Got our garlic. Now, anchovies really divide people, okay? It's where the salt sauce is going to come through there. There's a little bit of an oil content, but it is packed full of flavour. So if anchovies are a problem for you, time to get your knife skills out. So what we want is really 2 anchovies. Now, if we get these sliced up finely enough, you really aren't going to notice the actual anchovies throughout. So guys, same as the chili, we've got our rock chopping. If you haven't seen our video on how to cut things without losing your fingers and you want speed, set your guard, tip of the knife blade on the board, back, forward, back, forward. What you're getting is a nice fine chop. You're continually moving your fingers back and you're not chopping them up. And you can get nice and quick. So make sure, hand on top again, Harbour Bridge chop now. Rocking it back and forward, and we're getting that nice and fine. Keep going, guys, until this is literally minced through. Clean off your blade and go again. So for those that like a Caesar dressing, you've got all of the flavour, none of the guilt, because we're topping out for this whole dressing, this whole tub, there's 150 calories. Now, I mean, you're not going to have the entire lot. This is something that would put on a salad for about 4 people. So when you look at it that way, around about 40 calories per serve is pretty good. All right, now just give that a nice stir through. Now, optional to this, you can also add a little bit of black pepper, just to give it a touch more bite. And this is the beauty of thinking about food as fuel, guys. You get to learn what food is worth, you understand the properties within food, and for something like a creamy based salad dressing, all the taste, none of the guilt. So, next favourite, honey mustard. How do we make this healthy? So we've got honey, we've got around about a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon and a half of the Dijon mustard, and half a cup of the Chobani yogurt, again, because it's really our blank canvas. So literally, add those in. So this again is enough volume to do a decent sized salad. If you haven't seen our first meal prep video, we did an additional salad for dinner along with the salads that were made for the lunch. So this would definitely suit a salad of that size, okay? And again, just give it a nice stir through. And it really is a guilt-free honey mustard dressing. It's got the same creamy texture. We've dropped the fat content from where we usually have the creamy base through there as well, because we're using a Greek yogurt. We've got amped up the protein content to make you feeling fuller for longer. Fantastic consistency, guys. Tastes amazing. Now, the next one I'm going to introduce you is controversial, and I want you to take note of this. Vinegar by itself, something like a balsamic, if you put that on the stovetop, around about a litre of it, or around about 650 mils, a whole bottle of it, put it on the stovetop and boil it down. Now, I'm warning you now, open up your windows, tell your family you're going to do it, probably tell your neighbours you're going to do it, okay? Because it is going to stink the house out. But what you do, you get rid of that harshness of the vinegar, you bring through the actual undertones of the flavour. Thickens it right up once you let it settle and cool down. Now, what we've got here is something where you don't have to use a lot of volume, and if you literally just add a tablespoon of honey, this dressing will last you really probably 3 to 4 of the large salad sizes again that we detailed for you in the first meal prep video. Traditionally, and I'll show you in a minute, it's really a vinegar and an oil base to bring it together. Boiling it down, if you can get through the part where you stink out your house, you're going to get the same textural consistency, and you've amplified the flavour, but you've just saved yourself around about 170 calories, okay? So if calories are something that you're watching, a great way to get the flavour without the calories. Now, let's go old school. If calories aren't something that you need to watch, okay, if you've got a few more calories to burn, let's look at old school dressings, and it's a 3-to-1 ratio, guys. We want 3 parts vinegar, 1 part of an acid base, so you're looking at either a lemon or an orange, or we can go back to a vinegar. So you can do a red wine, you could do the balsamic. So I've got 3 tablespoons of an extra virgin olive oil and 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and got a medium-sized lemon. So literally just squeeze in the lemon. A great hack when you're doing the lemons is to cut them off just on the cheeks. You're not going to get the seeds in there, which is always nice, but it is really going to amplify the juice. So fat within this, in terms of the oil content, really acts as a carrier for flavour, all right? It's going to coat your salad leaves. Now, it's something that if you're going to not have this straight away, you will have to make sure that you give it a little bit of a whisk. You can add some herbs to this as well, depending on what the type of salad or meal that you're having. But when you've actually given it a good whisk through, you've evenly dispersed that lemon juice, the acidity, through the oil base, and you've got a fantastic lemon and oil dressing from there. So add your herbs. You can also do your vinaigrettes that way as well, using that 3-to-1 ratio. So we've got some great options here that we can put in the fridge and have ready. Again, make sure you give your 3-to-1 ratio oil to vinegar or oil to acid mix. Give it a good stir through. But Caesar, honey mustard, balsamic and honey, and also we've got our lemon and oil dressing, guys. And don't forget, if you're really, really short on time, check out something like these Chobani Meze dips. They double great for a salad dressing that's low in calories, high in protein, tastes great, and it's guilt-free. Okay, guys, we've got the veggies out of the oven, and this is a salad that we've had for 3 days now prepared. We've added some low-fat ricotta to it, so let's just see what this can look like when put into a bowl, guys. So, easiest way, hand down the side of the salad, underneath, just to make a nice easy transfer, lift up, and out. There we go. So you can even get your salad that you've had and make it look pretty. Okay, so roast veg. Scatter your roast veg on top. So with the ricotta and the type of dressing, we're going to use our honey balsamic dressing on top. This salad is only going to set you back 200 calories, guys. So I'll tell you what, it will make you rethink. Anyone again who doesn't like salads. Now remember, because we've actually reduced this vinegar down from its natural state, we don't need too much. We literally just want a nice streamlined drizzle. And that's how it's done, guys. Honestly, you can prepare your food in advance, cook a couple of times of the week, and you come up with something looks fantastic, tastes fantastic, and it is calorie control for people that are watching it. Now, you can add your lean protein source to that, chicken, fish, red meats, pork, whatever it might be, to your liking. With the ricotta on there, I've got a decent protein source. Get into it, guys, because I tell you what, I'm going to tuck into this right now.